Hey, what's going on, people? So today I'm going to show everybody how to take apart a Subaru Alternator. This one is currently out of a 2005 Subaru Forester with an EJ25. It's a naturally aspirated engine, and it's just a regular alternator. So to disassemble this, you're going to need a 24mm socket to take the top pulley nut off. What you do is just take the top pulley nut off. I already disassembled this whole thing. I put it back together to show everybody how to take it apart. So what you need to do is take the 24mm nut off, and the pulley came right off on mine. I don't know if yours is going to be lucky or not. If you don't, you're going to need a pulley puller, and then just it'll pull right off. So what you're going to do is put that aside. You got four 8mm screws on the outside of the cage. What you're going to do is take those off, and you might need to take a hammer and hammer the side of it. Be careful because it is a bearing. Don't walk it too bad. So it'll slide right off after you get it, worked free. So what you want to do is put that aside, and then we got here an armature, and this is not just going to want to pull out. What you're going to need to do is just put this nut on, and then stick this in a vise. Don't clamp the side where your pulley's going on because you might mar it up. So just clamp to the nut, and then what I did was I put it in there, and I hit the four corners where the ears, where the screws were for the cage, and it works. It'll work its way out. It ain't gonna like it. Eventually you'll be able to just slide it right out. And now what you're fighting is there's two brushes inside the cage, and what it's got to do is got to clear the bearing. Once it clears the bearing, it'll come free. So at this point, throw that to the side because you don't need that until reassembly. So what you got here now is the cage, and then there's three screws in there. There's one here, and there. The top one in the corner is really hard to get to, so you got to kind of use some patience and force. So the bottom two just come right out. I just use a number 2 Phillips. Pop those bottom two out. It's the plastic piece. There's a plastic clip that these go around. It might come out, it might not. It depends how in it is in there. So anyways, put those to the side, and then up in the top corner there's one right here. I used the number 1, and I put a lot of force on it, and I kept it out, and it came out. It will not come out like the other two because it's held in by the magnets. There's no soldering or nothing in there, so you just leave that. You can put it back in. It's fine where it's at. Just let it sit in there. So once you get past that point, what you're going to want to do is flip the alternator over. Now on the back side, there's a charging post with a cap. Pop that cap off. So you're going to pop the cap off, and then right here there's a 10mm nut. So unscrew that 10mm nut. Put that right here, or put it on the side for a minute because you're going to need it again. So this charging post is kind of pressed on like a wheel stud almost. You can wiggle it off. It might be a little hard. Just, if anything, take a little hammer and give it a couple taps. Don't break it, because if you break it, you're going to have to buy a new one or a new alternator. Whatever you want to do at that point is on you. So what you're going to do is it'll walk. Like I said, mine just wiggled right off. And then just put that to the side. Put your 10mm nut back on, so that way you don't damage your studs, because you're going to have to hit this a little bit just to get. There's probably other ways, but this is the way I did it. I put that back on, and then what you're going to do is give it a couple whaps, and look right at it, the whole thing just fell off. Take your nut back off, and the cage comes right off. So now you got your two cages. You can paint them, whatever. Clean your magnet up, paint it black, whatever color you're going to paint it. You don't have to paint it at all, but either way, this is what you got left, and this is the parts that you need to paint, to make it look nice. So if you sandblast, I recommend getting these screws out, getting that bearing out so you don't get sand in the bearing. Otherwise, that's on you. And when you paint it, the brace for the bearing over on the armature, you might want to tape that off real good and make sure that there's no, that you don't get no paint or powder coat in there, because that can cause an issue. So other than that, a couple minutes in the garage, take this thing apart. I studied it for a couple minutes. I was like, this is easy. I'll take this thing apart, no problem. And there she is. So I'm gonna wire wheel it, paint it up. It's gonna look real nice. And then this is part 1 of the video. I'm gonna post part 2 to give you guys the reassemble, because if you look right here, you can see the brushes. So we got to pin those brushes down, because otherwise, if you go to put the armature in, you can see it hits the brushes. So I'll show you guys how to pin those down, so that way when you put it back together, boom, you put it in. There's no problem. After you see this, you're like, oh my god, can't believe it was that easy. So that was part 1. So if you guys haven't seen my videos, I got some other videos up there. Right now, this is out of my it's an EJ25 engine out of a Subaru Forester. I put this engine in a 1971 Volkswagen Beetle, and I'm doing an EJ swap. That's what they call it, or Subi swap, whatever you want to call it. So check out my other videos. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting some videos. I'm nearing the end of my build, so there should be a lot more videos being posted, and then I'll probably do, you know, some other videos of street driving it, and maybe a couple races and stuff. Who knows? Who knows what it'll bring? But anyways, like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you guys got any questions, comments, post it up. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can, and wait for part 2. So, because it'll show you the reassembly, the nice finished product. And I hope this guys helps you guys out. Like I said, just keep all your parts in order, and super simple. Just take your time, you know, and you guys will be painting up your alternators before you know it, making them look good. So once again, wait for part 2, and I'll show you guys what's up after that. Thanks.